So Ableton Live 12 is finally out. I purchased the upgrade as soon as the news came out, but didn't try the beta because I just liked whatever was coming out on paper. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I really like the new features, so let's do this upgrade. Also because you have a nice economic incentive when doing so. So I just pulled the trigger on that. However, you have to be careful whenever we switch from a major version to another one, and that goes for any kind of software. I use that principle for macOS too, so I'm just skeptical to kind of jump into the new software as soon as it's been released, because a lot of bugs and unhappy things can happen. So now let's dive into what happens with Live 12 as of now. So the very first thing I don't like about Ableton Live 12, but that has been the case also for 11 and 10, is the lack of feature of the retrocompatibility. So if I'm producing something in Ableton Live 12, I want at least to be able to save the session into something retrocompatible. So I was just starting with a new track. It was nothing serious, just like a bass and a couple of drums and a vocal. And when I noticed other bugs that I will mention later in this video, I wanted to port everything into Ableton Live 11, but that's not possible. So this is what's showing up. So if you just add your project folder here, and here you have like what you generally have in a project folder. If we try to open it, the document blah 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 was made with a newer version of Live. You need the 12.0 or newer to open it. So that's really unfortunate, because now I have to do everything from scratch. It isn't really much, but it's still a pain in the ass. I know that's not an easy thing. I don't even want to port the new stuff into the older version, but in this case, if I just programmed like a serum preset and like drums into the drum rack, I want to be able to use them in Ableton 11, because those are just basic stuff that are already available in Ableton 11. Another problem that I already had back with Ableton 10 or Ableton 11 is that native instruments and isotope plugins don't show up in the browser, or at least the VST2 and VST3 version don't show up in the browser, but only the audio unit, and that can be a problem, because you can't just swap audio unit with VST, or at least that's what I know. And if you have to share a project with someone else, maybe using Windows, then they can't have audio unit, because that's not supported anywhere outside of macOS. Also, that's a problem because I have collections and I generally save the VST3 version, and all those plugins aren't showing up anymore. So I just have to browse for them in the plugin section, and that's not really great for workflow. Also, you can go to the Ableton forum. I will leave a link in the description below, and here you can see all the problems that are popping up with the new version. So here we have Live 12 empty set. It's 53% CPU kills battery on M1 max at idle. L12 pitch bug. Pressing stop button resets the global state. Live 12 GUI stuttering randomly. So I'm not saying that Live 12 is trash. I love the new features. I love the new instruments. I already tried them, but I don't want to commit to it, at least for the moment, for full projects, because I just used to the tools I use, to the workflow I have, and I don't really want to compromise with the bugs that there are at the moment. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope the people at Ableton can sort these problems out as soon as possible, and see you in the next one.